Hello everyone, welcome back to yet another set of matches here for the Mania 7 Key World Cup 2023. We've had our first 3 matches earlier, and now we're back with another exciting match here. USA versus Chile is going to be the one we're seeing right now on stream. I'm Potassium F casting right here with Sparky. How are you doing?
I'm doing absolutely fantastic. Excited to be back to cast some World Cup here, and we have 2 very, very strong rosters in front of us here. The United States being led by Turney and backed up with Alter, Stupid Man, and Squishy, and Chile on the other side looking to try and cause the upset here with Matias, It's Benja616, FazCL, and Scalum.
Yeah, this is actually a really interesting matchup because United States, seed number 5 this year, the best roster that really ever seen from them. Basically the dream roster for the United States right here. And Chile, of course, being really strong basically every year. This year having FazCL as well as Matias and Scalum. So very strong rosters all around. I will say though, it's going to be an interesting kind of skill set matchup because I feel like both of these teams really do excel at the kind of rice accuracy.
Yeah, for sure. It's probably going to come down to that and who can really venture down into the lower half of the map pool, maybe pull out some of the LNs, some of the hybrids to try and pull a fast one over their opponents. And by the looks of it, it looks like the United States has won the roll. 55 is higher than 34 here. And it looks like Chile will be batting first, followed by the US, and then the US will have the first pick here.
Yeah, it's looking like both teams might just leave up all the rice. We see Chile banning random on one of the hybrid maps. So perhaps just not so comfortable with those, wonky snaps throughout the map there. And I cannot imagine United States banning any of the rice maps. So, Hana, surely.
Yeah, for sure. So the United States up to ban now, Hybrid 2 being removed from this map pool. And I gotta agree with you here. I feel like the rice pool is way too good to pass up here in Hybrid 3. So colors and random being knocked out here, maybe thinning out potential balanced map styles to really corner each other into playing some of those LNs. Should these guys go the distance, there aren't enough rice charts to win outright. So
yeah, interesting to see 2 hybrid picks being banned. You don't really see that very often, but it does make sense. Colors is effectively a 40-second map with very, very, very high risk involvement for a very high seeded team. Just one miss can make an entire difference there in that map. So it's going to be Rain, the first pick. Core Jack, love to see it. We said both of these teams have really good rice accuracy, and this is the map that we would see the highest accuracy among all the top teams.
Yeah, for sure. This is probably going to come down to singular 300s. All 4 players on screen definitely able to put up some ridiculous scores on a chart like this. It's attributed to the nature of the chart itself. At the highest level, I mean, it just comes down to consistency. Who can hold their nerve a little bit better? It looks like we're going to see Stupid Man and Alter for the United States going up against Matias and Scalum here. Arguably the 2 best of their respective teams stepping up to the plate here.
Yeah, Stupid Man and Alter definitely have some absurd accuracy. I know Scalum does as well. So I think really this is a really how should I say, very, very tense map to play first of all, because even just a singular miss can pretty much decide it between teams that are this good.
Yeah, for sure. So as we get this map underway, gonna be interesting to see who can hold on longer. This is probably going to be the accuracy arc to hit 99.9 or lose the point, and we already see the United States pulling away just a little bit here through this first quarter of the map. off the back of Matias dropping down into that 99.8 range. Still plenty of time for them to make up this tiny bit of a deficit, but with Stupid Man and Alter holding on basically 100%, it's going to be a tall task.
This is tight. Look at all of these accuracies. They're so high. The lowest accuracy right now, Matias on 99.88, which is absolutely terrifying because even like 1 or 2 200s is more than enough to switch this over to Chile's lead.
Yeah, for sure. I think Stupid Man fell from their perch of that 100%. I think maybe a singular 200 on one of these jacks, marring their immaculate run here, but getting back up on the horse, here to support Alter as they now hold the highest accuracy in this lobby. Scollum not too far behind, trying to contest it, keep this within catchable distance. As we were saying earlier, it's going to come down to who blinks first. You would imagine on a chart like this, neither of these teams willing to give up a miss too easily.
And Alter did drop a 200, I think, there. But Stupid Man has been recovering the accuracy really well, and this ratio in general for the United States does look a little bit higher than Chile's side.
Yeah, this is hundreds of a percent separating these two teams right now. It is maybe 1,000 or so points separating them as we make our way into the last sliver of map. It is still Alter and Stupid Man up on their perches, 99.95s apiece. A very balanced team score overall. Chile not too far behind. You'd imagine that's a very competitive score overall. Can probably beat out some of the other teams in this tournament, but against the United States, with the consistency they have, not going to be enough here. The United States picks up their first point to make it 1-0.
Oh my god, look at these ratios. 33-76. And then even on Chile's side, it's just 1-200 for two players and 135 and 148. Like Chile's team score here would beat almost every other team in the tournament. Not United States though, one of our best rice accuracy teams that we're seeing right now. So that is actually going to be a break point.
That was actually their...
Wait, no?
Their own
no, that was United States. Okay, I got confused with the colors in the Discord feed.
Oh, seeing all that red.
yeah.
Understandable.
No, so that was actually United States pick. So not the biggest deal yet for Chile. United States winning their own first pick. It was fairly close though. So now it will be up to Chile to decide how they can fight back here, whether they decide to go with the rise that both teams are comfortable with or venture into those LNs where it might be, a little bit less comfortable for the United States.
Yeah, it remains to be seen. Maybe a speculative pick of the LNs or the remaining hybrid to try and scope things out here. It is a best of 9, so you do have a little bit of wiggle room, but you definitely don't want to start giving away too many breakpoints this early on. And it is going to be hybrid 1, so diving down into that last remaining hybrid to maybe try and throw the United States off their game.
Yeah, interesting pick here from Chile. This is going to be a more consistency-based hybrid out of the 3. Of course, the other 2 being banned. So this is going to be the only hybrid that we're seeing here.
Yeah, right now our referee just making sure everything's squared away on the back end. Don't want to lead the teams astray, make them think that it is their pick when it really isn't. And then we'll be getting into this hybrid 1 pick. If anything, it gives the teams a bit more time to get these teams squared away.
Yeah, and actually, looking at kind of the qualifiers for both these teams, looking at stage 8 in particular, that was one where both of these two teams are actually very, very close, even though United States is a little bit in front. Unfortunately, this hybrid, not quite up to the same level of difficulty as stage 8, but still, that kind of skill set might be very, very good for Chile. And actually, we're seeing 3 player changes here. Squishy coming in for United States. Obviously a very good player, but for Chile, we've got It's Benja, 616, and Faz CL. Full team swap here.
Yeah, maybe more comfortable with these alternating rice LN patterns. Can handle some of the intricacies required of this chart to put up a pretty good team performance, maybe the most comfortable of the 4 of them. But it looks like all 4 players are ready. The MP Star command comes out. We're going to get into the second chart of this best of 9. The United States looking to try to take the first break point in this match. Chile looking to try and equalize here.
Yeah, very important point for Chile. Also going to be important to see how comfortable both of the teams are on some of these LN patterns, which might be the difference maker later on in this match.
Yeah, we can already see it through these opening LNs as Benja finding a very early drop here. And players lower accuracy than on that rice chart to be expected. Some of these LN structures are very hard to read through, especially when you're getting your feet wet in them. But right now it's going to be the United States holding on as Alter trades that miss back.
And Alter's miss is actually going to mean a little bit more because Benja did miss within the first 400 combos, so it's not going to reduce the score quite as much as Alter's miss. But that said, the accuracy lead right now for United States is keeping them in this, and Benja does find another miss.
Yeah, I think the difference between the 2 of them, sure, Alters came later, but their overall accuracy is still head and shoulders above its Benja, so able to stem some of the bleeding from that miss. Maybe damage limitation as we make our way through into the second quarter of the map, and Alter does trade that miss back once again. But that lead is still firmly on the United States' side for the moment.
Yeah, still in United States' favor, definitely because of this accuracy advantage, but it's being kept close. Benja actually trading the miss again. It's back and forth between these 2 players, it's looking like. Other 2 players on both sides. Oh, Squishy actually finding a miss now. That's 0 full combos United States. Faz CL is the last one holding on. That is going to keep it close. There is still an accuracy lead for United States, but it's not gigantic.
Yeah, for sure. It's keeping them ahead for the moment, but these drops from its Benja really causing some damage, especially because they are the lowest accuracy in this lobby for the moment. Really giving a bit of a cushion for the United States to work with whenever they do find their own drops. But Faz doing everything in their power, still holding on to the only FC in this lobby. Last out of the map still to come. 99.3 for them, trying to wrench this lead back over if at all possible, but so far the recovery mission for the United States, both Squishy and Alter handling their misses relatively cleanly.
Yeah, they are maintaining this 10k lead about with the third of the map left. Chile definitely hoping for a couple more misses, but they have to not be traded at this point. Chile cannot afford many more misses at all.
Yeah, for sure. If anything, they might be hoping for another team wipe from the United States. We have seen both of them drop so far on this chart, but as we make our way into the last quarter of the map, things start to calm down just a little bit. The structure is still very intricate, very easy to misread any of these, but able to hang on for now. Oh, and there goes Faz.
That's the last full combo down. No full combos on the board, but that miss coming from Chile's side means the United States are securing an even bigger lead here. And we're getting to the very end of the map.
Yeah, Faz was the one player from Chile that couldn't afford to drop. They were really keeping this lead in check, and now that they have found the miss, the US running away with it now as the map comes to an end, and the United States will take the first break point in this match to make it 2-0.
Yeah, overall, fairly actually pretty good pick for Chile. It was very close for the most part, just a few less misses from their side, and maybe it could have been a very different story here, but United States do secure that first break point, and they're going to go up 2-0. And now it's become a necessity for Chile to win one of these Rise picks that United States will go for.
Yeah, for sure, you'd imagine the United States is going to opt to go straight back up into that Rise pool. It's just a matter of what style of chart they want to go for here.
I'm thinking something like Primitrix, however you pronounce that one, the chord stream map, looking pretty good for United States here. Of course, being number one on the chord stream map in qualifiers.
Yeah, definitely their bread and butter. Alter, basically saying they are nervous. If this is their performance when they're nervous, I would hate to see what they're like when they're fully confident. But so far, they have MVP both of these charts that have been played so far.
Yeah, definitely showing a very strong level of accuracy.
Oh, and breaking with what we were thinking they would go for.
Ooh.
LN1.
Okay. Spicy pick from United States. I would have thought they would kept with the Rice accuracy, but of course, I guess they don't want to keep Chile too much in their comfort zone. So here we go. We're seeing Turney swapping in, of course, from the United States. This is the LN release player. And I wonder who's going to be switching in for Chile. Matias coming back.
Yeah, it remains to be seen who will be rounding out this Chilean roster.
Yes.
I was gonna say, after winning that hybrid pick and seeing the scores overall and the accuracies from Chile, you wonder if maybe the United States are pivoting a little bit on their strategy. Maybe another avenue has opened up for them to attack this Chilean lineup, and might be a good time to test out those LNs. You still have that breakpoint in the back pocket. Worst case scenario, you just give a point over to Chile.
Yeah, there is a little bit of a buffer, but that said, this map in particular is one that's very hard to gauge how a team will do on it based on other maps. Of course, that star rating 2.43, don't be deceived by that. This is definitely one of the harder maps in the pool for most players.
Yeah, I think if you go into a dictionary and look up star rating deception, this is probably one of those maps. It is so deceptively hard with its style and patterning. Another Surf Chew classic coming through here. It looks like it's Benja's going to come in for Chile to round out the roster. Immediately readied up.
Yeah, good to see that both teams really have all four players having a strong skill set, different use for their team. So really cool to see the depth of players within their roster.
Yeah, for sure. I think the only outlier would be Alter. 3 for 3 on the map picks so far. Probably just anchoring it down for the United States. Just that level of consistency that they have. Definitely beneficial, especially when you get into the later stages. You want somebody that can basically be that sort of Swiss Army knife for your team, play everything and beyond as we make our way into this introduction for LN1.
And we'll have to see if anyone is not so comfortable with this level of coordination. So far, everyone holding on to the full combo early in the map. Bit of an accuracy lead for United States. Oh, this is some monstrous accuracy from Alter, 99.95. Benja, though, finding the first miss here.
Yeah, some of these multi-column inverse patterns start to come out. We see the coordination start to lapse just a little bit here, a singular drop, but it is going to drop them down into that 98% range, and it's going to give an even bigger buffer for the United States to work with off the back of their very consistent performance so far. Going into the back half now, 99.8, 99.93 is going to be a tall task for Chile to try and make some inroads in this lead, especially with that drop from its Benja here.
And this map, not only is it a short map, there are very few notes in the map at all. So every single drop that we're seeing is so hard to recover from, because look how slowly the combo is being built back up from Benja. There's just not enough notes to build back up to that 400 combo mark.
Yeah, it is nerve-wracking, and combo breaks on a map like this are incredibly detrimental.
And they're so easy to make. This is such a hard map to be able to consistently combo. But we still have 3 full combos actually on the board.
Yeah, just separated by the accuracy.
Yeah, this accuracy from the United States is absurd.
Yeah, we were hyping this map up to be one of the hardest ones in the pool, but the United States making very quick work of it, as if though it actually were a 2.4-star map. I mean, this is incredible consistency and incredible team score from them. Arguably one of the highest of the weekend so far, virtually tied with each other. And the United States goes up 3-0 now.
This team score from the United States, I don't think we're going to see a team score that high on this map from any other team.
Maybe, I mean, of the teams that have played already, maybe already having something close, but that is a very high score overall. I mean, Chile doing their best, that FC from Matthias and Esbenja, unfortunately finding a couple of misses there, but fortunately it wasn't their pick here.
Yeah, nothing much you can do about that one there. At the very least, there is no other map that is quite like that one, so... No, we got some audio audio difficulties going on. But it is Chile's pick right now, so it is very important point for them. 3-0 for United States. They do not want to go 4-0 down, of course. Now is the time where they have to start winning their own picks.
Yeah,
and that's going to be LN3, actually.
Not sure about this one. I wonder if this might be one of those like Hail Mary type of plays here where you just change the dynamic. You already played the very slow coordination LN map. Maybe change the pace a little bit, get something a little bit more upbeat going where you can really show off your LN proficiency. Have a couple more notes to work with as well as we work on the audio issues in the background. What do you think of this match so far?
Yeah, so far I think that there's definitely been a lot of chances for Chile to come. They've given themselves, you know, not too much of a lead for United States in a lot of these maps, which is kind of nice, but at the same time, it's just a couple of misses they've been getting have really been detrimental, as well as the accuracy from the United States, just in general, looking a little bit more comfortable with all these maps. This is something that we haven't really quite seen throughout the match yet, though. A map like this is more of a mixed LN style. It's not going to be full-on coordination like the one before. So we are seeing Squishy being subbed back in for the United States.
Down the other side, we have FazCL checking back in. You wonder who's going to come in to back them up. We already saw Matthias swiftly departing after that LN1 pick.
Does that mean we're getting another full team swap for Chile? Potentially. If we see Skullum coming back.
You'd imagine that might be who comes in for a chart like this. But still, kind of, like, you have almost the entirety of the Rice pool available to you, maybe just paying the respect to the accuracy that the United States possesses. Maybe trying to scope out a potential point here before they have to go back into the Rice. But if they lose this breakpoint, this is potentially their last pick in this match.
Yeah, definitely. It is going to be Matthias coming in for Chile. So Matthias, FazCL, Squishy, and Alta going to be the players.
And now we shall see the United States on the cusp of match point. Chile looking to try and find their first point here. It's going to be Squishy and Alter going against Matthias and FazCL.
You can see right out of the gates this accuracy from United States looking just as good as ever, 99.9 for both players. Very small early lead here.
Yeah, but that could quickly spiral out of control if the accuracies aren't kept in check. FazCL dropping as these structures start to get a little bit more dense here. Matthias doing everything in their power to try and keep this lead in check from the United States. But as it stands, I mean, Squishy and Alter, as this second third of the map comes up, finding a little bit of damage, falling from that 99.9 range further and further, but for every 1/10% that the United States drops, it feels like Chile is dropping 2 2/10 in return. And this lead for the United States quickly starting to grow out of control here.
Yeah, Squishy and Matthias is actually kind of balancing each other out here, very similar accuracies, but the difference here is between Alter and Faziel actually finding a drop. So that was low accuracy, and now the only miss out of the 4 players. That's going to mean the United States are going to be launched into the lead even further.
Yeah, for sure. A couple hundreds and 200s coming out from Alter, but Squishy does trade it in return. But Matthias answers in kind. No harm, no foul done for the United States. As so long as Alter holds on to this FC, there is very little that Chile can do about this map. And only about 1/8 of the map left to go.
Yeah, there's not really anywhere to find misses on for the United States as well at this point. So it looks like this lead is just going to stay around. And United States are going to secure their 4th point in the match with an FC from Alter. Best accuracy in the lobby on top of that.
Yeah, Matthias not too far behind Squishy there. It's really the difference between Alter and Faz on the lower half of the lobby. And now it's that situation you want to avoid at all costs. Giving over that break point to your opponent on match point with their pick in hand. I am pick of the litter here for the United States to work with. You wonder if they might want to hide some of those rice scores now and maybe go for LN2 here. Never mind. They're going to go for Primitrix.
Yeah, they're looking for the chord stream. Not going to be hiding any of their scores from future opponents here. Going to go straight for the rice chord stream, and we know that United States is extremely good with their chord stream accuracy. But at the same time, Chile is definitely most comfortable, I would say, at the rice.
Yeah,
at least from what we've seen.
It's going to come down to the finest of margins. As we were saying, I mean, the United States outperforming in terms of accuracy on that first rice chart that we saw. And this being their bread and butter, their best performance in the qualifiers. You would imagine they're going to put up a pretty ridiculous score on this. It's really just going to come down to whether or not Chile can capitalize on any potential mistakes.
We're seeing some more swaps, some swaps between every map in this match, which has been very interesting. Not something that you see in every team even. But Alter being the only one who's stayed on for multiple maps in a row, really.
Yeah, the eternal anchor for the United States here. Stupid Man checking back in for this. Scalum and it's Benja checking in for Chile here.
Of course, Scalum, the rice player for Chile, has been the case for very many years now.
Yeah, mainstay on this Chilean roster, and they're gonna need to put up a performance here to try and take this break point and start the road to recovery. It's gonna be tiebreaker or bust for Chile here. The United States securing that at the very least in this match. Alright, it looks like everybody's ready. The MP start command comes out. 5th map of this best of 9. United States on match point. Chile still looking to try and get that first point on the board. Gonna need to do it against this brick wall of Stupid Man and Alter on a chord stream pick.
And here we go. And actually, both of the teams actually pretty much tied at the start in terms of their accuracy. All 4 players holding on strong accuracy. Benja falling a little bit behind compared to the 2 United States players, but not by much.
Yeah, it's definitely reminiscent of that other rice chart that came out here. The United States just that little bit ahead in terms of overall accuracy, but Chile still about as close as they have been so far this match, as Alter finding a couple of 200s very early on, but recovering very nicely up into that 99.9 range. Stupidman lending their support as well, about 500% behind, as Scala tries to keep this competitive, able to match toe-to-toe with Stupidman, but it's the same story we've seen so far in this match. The top half of the lobby versus the bottom half of the lobby. Alter, the difference maker for the United States for the moment against its Benja.
This is just some crazy accuracy overall. Alter and Stupidman, both the two highest. Skalem is actually keeping up with Stupidman really well right now. Both of those having really high accuracies, but it's Benja still 99.65 is a very strong accuracy, but against Alter right now, like 99.91, and that's a miss from Skalem.
That's not what you want to see if you are supporting Chile here. One of the FCs off the board now in the United States. Going to the last quarter of the map, basically with everything in hand, it's Benja finds the drop as well. That might be the final nail in the coffin for this match. You highly doubt Stupidman and Alter are going to let this one go with the lead that they have built up so far. And as we make our way into the last eighth of the map, it is more of the same here. Both players from the United States holding on to their FCs for the moment. Skalem and Benja doing everything that they can to try and recover here, but it is going to be too little too late, and it looks like the United States is going to pull off the sweep and make it 5-0 here.
And Alter finding a miss at the very end. Very unfortunate. That would have been the 5th MVP in a row, but unfortunately, Stupidman is the holder of that title. 996 and 994 though, even with the miss, that's still a crazy team score. And Chile having very strong accuracies, but just those misses will make United States take the sweep. So it is going to be United States winning the match, just like the seeds predicted. But Chile is not out of the tournament just yet, of course. This is a double elimination bracket, so Chile will be sent to the losers bracket, and they'll have another chance at continuing further on in the tournament. But congratulations to the United States here. Definitely a terrifying team in basically all of these maps that we saw.
Yeah, for sure. On paper, definitely proving that they are probably one of the strongest United States rosters we have seen in the last couple of years. But with that being said, that will do it for this match. But don't touch that dial. We have another match coming up at the top of the hour at 23 UTC. We're going to have Brazil taking on Canada.
And yeah, you do not want to... something's happening on that schedule, but you definitely don't want to miss the next one. Brazil versus Canada being seed number 8 versus seed number 9. So in terms of the seeding, this is theoretically the closest match that we will see in the weekend. So I definitely do not think a sweep is going to happen at all in that match. We could potentially see a tiebreaker going on. So that will be in half an hour. So make sure you stick around for that. 27 minutes there, 23 UTC. So definitely stick around for that one. That is going to be a very exciting match.
Yep, we'll catch you then.
苦しいね意味求め合うと悲しいね I wanna kill myself やめてよ zip it もう聞きたくないの傷を見せてって言えないよ覗き込んだって見えないよ I wanna kill myself やめてよ zip it もう聞きたくない You don't give me no sign I can't control but I can't control Give me some more can't control but I can't control 傷を舐め合うと苦しい理由違うの全部違うの重ねたところから影になってやがて腐りゆくんだ It's wrong, it's wrong 認めてしまうとしまいだ理解してしまう前に繋いだだからこぼれ落ちていること
Welcome back, everyone. Hope you've had a good break. We're back with the Mania 7-Key World Cup 2023 round of 16. And of course, right here, Brazil versus Canada will be the match, the closest match in seeding through the entire round. I'm Potassium F again, joined now by Toph Daddy. How are you going?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to watch this match. Ever since the seeding showcase, I've been really excited to watch this match, and I'm really happy I get to commentate it. Obviously love these guys from Brazil and Canada. No, I talked to especially, some of the players from Brazil, but this is a no bias commentary crew, so I can't say anything. But 8 versus 9, I'm expecting a really good match here.
Yeah, and not only is it 8 versus 9, but we also get a very interesting dynamic here with the picks. Brazil performing exceptionally well in the rice pools in the qualifiers, while Canada is much more of an LN focused team. So the strengths are kind of at odds with each other here. They have very clear pick strategies, I think, between these two teams.
Yeah, and one of the interesting things about this match that we're going to end up seeing, so we're already seeing a ban on the right side from Canada here. I expect a long note ban, probably Wake Me Up, if I had to guess, from Brazil. But on top of that, because of that rice and LN dichotomy, I think this match is going to end up coming down to hybrids, which puts Canada potentially in a bit of a rough spot because they're going to run out of those long note picks before Brazil runs out of the rice picks. But even then, Canada will only have the opportunity only have the need to pick one hybrid, since each team gets a max of 3 picks each before. Or sorry, actually, I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I am mixing 2 tournaments up right now. This is first to 5, so they will have to pick 2 of the hybrids. And Shinkai, I think, is a pretty safe bet as far as hybrids go, but random and colors are both extremely risky. So it's going to be really interesting to see how these pick strategies end up.
Yeah, and what's more as well is if you look at the stage 3, the kind of easier, more consistency-based hybrid from the qualifiers, these two teams were 1,000 points apart.
If that does not go to show how close this match is going to end up being, I don't know what will. But these rice picks definitely a fair bit easier than most of the rice picks that were in that qualifier pool. So I expect that accuracy advantage to be coming out from Brazil. Angel's Ladder coming out from Brazil as their first pick, especially with a player like Lothus on their team, who is well known for having just absolute pinpoint accuracy on everything.
And we also see Silly Fangirl playing for Canada, of course, the best Canadian player.
Of course.
But yeah, it is going to be, as if you've ever watched the 4-Key World Cup, very familiar names here for Brazil, Lothus and Silly Fangirl, the rice accuracy players. And for Canada's side, I believe we should be getting Mr. Moo and Dale being the rice players playing for them.
That would be the guess. I think this is going to end up being the two-person squad for both teams for a majority of the maps. I'm not sure if one of the other Canadian players is better at long notes. I believe Makiba would be the other long note player for Brazil, so we could see those 2 players being swapped in.
I think we actually saw both of the other Canadian players play the long notes last time. Lelpop and Harambe. Yeah. What was it? Harambe Fanboy? Something like that? I forget names.
Something like that.
Yeah, Harame Fanboy, that's the one.
Yeah, that is the one. What a
Both
name.
of those players being switched in for the LNs and the hybrids during the qualifiers, at least. Hard to say for this map pool here, of course, being slightly different in difficulty.
Yeah, definitely going to be favoring that accuracy over, just the physical requirements of especially the last 4 stages of qualifiers. So that won't matter quite as much when we saw the scores there. But Angel's Ladder, first pick from Brazil. I'm sure that they're very comfortable on this. And, it's exactly where we kind of expected them to go for, out of the gate. Go for the rice, go for what's comfortable to you.
Yeah, and if this does end up going the distance, you would expect Brazil to be picking basically all 4 of the rice maps. So the order perhaps not mattering so much in what they pick.
Yeah, I think if we're going to speculate later on in the match, I think the last rice pick that's going to be picked by Brazil is going to be Rain. Because that core jack map, one miss and you're going to lose. And that's not the kind of risk that you need to take when you have a pretty, maybe not notable advantage, but you perform better in qualifiers on the rice pick. So you want to be able to, flex that advantage as much as possible. And I think Rain does the worst job of allowing Brazil to do that.
Yeah, but getting into this first map here, actually very tight between these two teams, but Dale finding an early miss.
Yeah, one of those early bursts catching Dale off guard. We're getting into a little bit more of a consistent section here. This will go on for about the next quarter of the map before getting into the break. And I expect, but on Mr. Moo also finding a break, so that's no full combos left on the side of Canada, and Lotus and Silly Fangirl both holding on very strong in terms of both combo and accuracy, putting their foot on the gas right now as we get into the break in this second half. And I mean, if we're seeing misses from Canada in the first half here, I think this ending is going to be a little bit more challenging.
Yeah, definitely towards the end it does start to pick up with those patterns, but 99.8 for both of the Brazilian players holding in full combos as well. This is quite a sizable accuracy lead.
It definitely is, and I mean, score-wise, we're seeing a difference about 25,000 points, and for 2 players to make up 25,000 points with just a quarter of the map left, we're going to have to see a bit of a collapse from Lotus and Silly Fangirl, especially with that second miss from Mr. Moo here, and now we're getting into the more difficult rice patterns, switching up the rhythms a lot, and Mr. Moo following it up with yet another miss, and it looks like Brazil will be able to coast into this point as long as they hold on normally throughout the rest of this map.
Yeah, they can even afford a couple misses if they really want, but as of now, it's not looking like they want to miss at all. Still holding in the double full combos at the very end of the map here.
Yeah, 2 full combos for the side of Brazil, beating out Canada's 0 there. Dale with 1 unfortunate miss right at the start, but I mean, 994, 993, absolutely ridiculous scores from both Silly Fangirl and Lotus. Ratios out the wazoo. I just don't even know.
Yeah, and that's why it's the first pick from Brazil.
Yeah, of course. What else would you expect?
Yeah, I mean, Canada, good thing getting the misses out of the way early in this first map, right? This is that was not a pick that was really up for contention with the scores like that from Brazil. So now it is the important part of what do Canada pick now? Of course, one of the LN maps should be the answer.
Yeah, in my shoes, if I was in Canada, I'd go LN3. I'd go Wake Me Up. I think that's the most coordination heavy, and I think that's the one that will favor Canada the most.
Yeah, absolutely. Canada holding a very strong stage 4 score from qualifiers, so that kind of coordination is something that they really do excel at.
But I mean, I don't think it would be a bad idea to go with either LN3 or LN2. I think both are going to end up coming out in this match regardless. It's just about which one Canada wants to start with. And in some cases, that if they do end up swapping both of their players out for this next pick, they might want to go with LN2 as they're doing, so that so that potentially the nerves, anxieties of the match don't get to them quite as much as they might on a heavy coordination map like Wake Me Up.
Yeah, so we are going to be starting with Daisuke here. The LN Density, more streamy kind of LN map coming out here.
Got a banger coming up. I always love when the songs are good in the pools.
Of course. Yeah, we are going to see a couple of swaps here. for the bottom two players. Makiba swapping in for Silly Fangirl, and Harambe Fanboy coming in instead of Dale.
Yeah, at that point, it's just a question of whether Lelpop's coming in for Mr. Moo as well, or if Lothus will be swapped out for the fourth player on Brazil, who I cannot remember. But we have the start command, so it doesn't look like any more swaps will happen. Lothus and Mr. Moo definitely staying in for this, and Canada looking to strike back with a pick of their own on Daisuke, starting with a bit more of a comfortable long note pick before they potentially move into that control-based long notes in Wake Me Up. And right out the gate, we're seeing some troubles from both sides. Harambe Fanboy and Makiba both having a little bit of trouble locking down their accuracy in those earlier patterns, but calms down just a little bit here, and we should see the accuracy start to improve on Mr. Moo and Lothus matching each other, but a little bit of an accuracy drop from Lothus is going to help on Mr. Moo bring that lead to Canada's side as we get into the first verse with some simpler patterns before we hit the first chorus.
But it is very close between these two teams, at least so far. Makiba actually dropping in accuracy just a little bit, while Harambe Fanboy has been recovering from that early accuracy deficit. And Lothus, a couple of misses there.
Yeah. Another miss right there. That's 3 misses in a row from Lothus. Better to have them all at once, but even then, that is going to drop their accuracy down to 99.38, and Makiba actually also dropping a bit of accuracy in that section, and a lead just spiked up in favor of Canada there. Both players holding onto the full combos as we transition out of this chorus. Mr. Moo putting on a show right now with that 99.7, bringing Canada to a very significant lead, though that accuracy from Lothus trying to catch back up. The bars shrinking. Makiba and Harambe Fanboy do trade misses, not going to affect too much, but Makiba had the lower accuracy. That's going to affect Brazil a little bit more than it will Canada.
Yeah, it is basically all the difference right now in Mr. Moo compared to Lothus right now. Makiba and Harambe Fanboy fairly similar in accuracy, both 1 miss apart, but Mr. Moo with the only full combo left and the highest accuracy in the room is really making all of this difference.
Yeah, we got about a 10-15,000 point difference as we get into the final patterns of the map. I think 1 or 2 misses is probably safe for Canada, but a little bit more, but Lothus eases that load for Canada, and it looks like they will be able to strike right back with a 1-1 scoreline as Makiba misses right at the end. Mr. Moo getting the full combo, bringing the Canadians to their first point. Yeah, at next lowest 200 count, 23 by Lothus, just goes to show how impressive that kind of score is on a 7-key long note map.
Yeah, it definitely does look like Canada is feeling comfortable with these LN picks, at least for that first one, and it is going to be 1-1, not a sweep, confirmed after 4 sweeps.
After 4, yeah, a first match that's not a sweep this weekend. We did it.
And it is definitely looking like that will continue, at least for the next couple maps. Brazil's pick now, they look very strong on Angel's Ladder.
Rain comes out. I don't like this pick very much, actually. Lothus's accuracy is obviously going to be extremely good on this, but I really am not sure about this over something like Busy Come, Busy Go.
Yeah, I mean, if there are any players that I think about Quad Jacks for, Lothus and Silly Fangirl, Brazil as a whole for 4K in particular is definitely a team that I would think about. But as you said before, when, Quad Jacks early on like this, a single miss basically will give over the point to the other team.
Yeah, and on top of that, I wouldn't really count Dale out of this, or Mr. Moo. Any of the players can probably get extremely good accuracy on this. And, I mean, like you said, 1 miss is going to do it. Lothus probably feeling very comfortable on a map like this, but I've also seen Lothus have issues with consistency when it comes to maps like this. Even in 4-key, where it's a little bit easier to keep that coordination going. And with the heavy anchors in this, I'm not sure that this is the best pick Brazil had under their belt.
Yeah, we'll see if there is any chance for a breakpoint here. Canada definitely have a good shot at this one.
And in my opinion, I think a breakpoint might be needed for Canada to feel comfortable with the rest of this match. They have one more long note pick at least remaining in the pool, but then they got to move into that really risky hybrid pool before they do anything else. So that can be a little bit complicated to worry about. And if they want a breakpoint, this is the place to do it.
Have to see so far. Everyone doing pretty well in the ratio at the start. Nice hit sounds here.
Of course. Oh, early drop from Dale already. Having really good accuracy in that start, just maybe not reading that transition properly, and that's going to help Brazil keep the lead, or at least build a lead. Lothus going back up to the 100% after dropping a regular 300 in the intro.
Yeah, and that's another miss from Dale as well. That means that, I mean, if Brazil hold these full combos, they are pretty much guaranteed to take the point. As we said before, one miss is enough, theoretically, to guarantee this point.
Is. Especially with that kind of accuracy from Brazil. I'm Mr. Moo, not too far behind the two Brazilian players, and I figured Dale would be pretty close if he didn't miss in that intro, or miss the 2 times. This would be a lot closer if we end up seeing misses. Anchors abound, but I do not doubt the abilities of the two Brazilian players to hold on to the combo despite the anchoring nature of the map. And we're already past the halfway point, and that's a second miss from Canada on Mr. Moo. 2 full combos to 0, just like we saw in Angel's Ladder, and that is not going to look good for the potential for Canada to take this breakpoint.
Yeah, definitely looking like Brazil's running away with this one. And this accuracy from Lothus right now, 99.99. Interested to see what the ratio is. Actually,
I'm Mr. Moo not having a good time.
Yeah, a few misses there. But if you look at the hit concentration, I do think Dale has a really, really strong ratio as well. If not for those misses early on.
That was 2 misses, and they've already built up to 99.87 with 2 misses. That is impressive accuracy. But Lothus, I think, actually may have dropped to 200 or just had a rush of 300s. They were at the 99.99, but they dropped down to the 99.97. Despite that, Brazil will feel a nice, comfortable lead here at the end. A 999 from Lothus. What else would you expect? 15. Oh. I mean, 27 from Dale with 3 misses. I don't count the man out, but just not enough. 2 full combos from the side of Brazil is enough to lock that point away.
Those are some absolutely tiny 300 counts from 3 players here. 15, 27, 48. And on Mr. Moo, 142 as well with 0 200s.
Oh, actually, it looks like Mr. Moo would have had some keyboard issues on that. Not that I think it would have mattered. Brazil did not miss, and they had incredible ratios. So, but it gives Mr. Moo a chance to look at the keyboard issues, make sure that they don't happen. I mean, I expect LN3 to come out. I don't think there's another pick that really makes sense here.
That is the only pick that is that Canada should be very comfortable picking until they start having to take risks with the hybrids. And yeah, it does come out here, LN3.
That coordination starting to come out in the match now. I mean, I feel comfortable with Canada having this as a pick in their pocket, but now there's no long note picks after this happens. They will have at least one more pick in this pool no matter what, and they'll have to go with whatever rice pick they think is more comfortable or move into the hybrids, which is a bit of a risky field to go into, especially with random and colors both being extremely high risk, high reward. I am really interested to see what they plan to do with that hybrid pool.
Yeah, it'll definitely be a very interesting one to see. I think colors, I don't think we've seen so far, being one of the most risky maps for any team to pick.
Yeah, I mean, a map having 30 seconds of difficulty with some crazy stagger releases is going to do that to a map. But here we go into the second long note map of the match. Second pick from Canada on Mr. Moo and Harambe Fanboy coming in. So, same player who was in on Daisuke. Makes sense to see them in for the long notes here again. Early accuracy favoring Brazil here. The Rhythms in this map a little bit off from what the notes are, so that could tend to be a little bit of an issue for some players to hold on to. This one holding onto that 1/4 rhythm throughout, despite the rhythm of the song being a little more swing. So ignoring the music itself can be a little bit challenging, I think, for some players, and that's showing off a little bit. Harambe Fanboy down to the low 99s, everyone else holding on, though we haven't hit the really difficult coordination patterns quite yet.
Yeah, this is definitely a pretty significant accuracy lead right now for Brazil. Both players on Brazil holding... Oh, actually, as I said, that Makiba struggling so much on this kind of one-hand inverse.
Still actually holds on to a better accuracy than Harambe Fanboy, but that full combo from Harambe Fanboy is allowing Canada to sneak into that lead right now. And Lothis matching that miss, so it's 2 full combos, 2-0 in favor of Canada now. And that's going to help give Canada the ability to hold on to that lead. We got just this final long note tech section. That lead is still pretty small. The accuracy lead in favor of Brazil is definitely helping keep that a little closer, but Lothis continuing to find misses is going to potentially seal the deal here as we approach the very end of this techie long note section, and Canada feeling a little bit more comfortable getting that second point under their belts.
Yeah, now Canada with the accuracy lead after that drop from Lothis. Mr. Moose still holding this 99.7 again on yet another LN map.
Yes, absolutely clutch performances from both of the Canadian players. That high accuracy from Mr. Moo and Harambe Fanboy, despite the accuracy drops early on, held onto the combo the whole time and gave them a 26,000 point lead over Brazil. 4 pretty comfortable wins so far. Brazil and Canada just trading points so far, but things are going to start to get a little bit more dicey as picks start running out.
It's a funny ratio difference between Lothis and Harambe Fanboy here.
It is pretty funny. And Harambe Fanboy taking the win over Lothis by 29 points.
Combo game, what can you say?
Combo gamed. Lothis just got combo gamed. Busy come, busy go. I figured this would be Brazil's second pick after seeing Angel's Ladder come out. But, you know, makes sense to come out here now that they've had both of their wins on the Rice picks. And, I mean, what else are they going to do? Push into the hybrid section of the pool?
Yeah, definitely. We are expecting all of these Rice to come out at some point.
I mean, yeah, Brazil just kind of had a game plan. They were like, we've got 4 Rice picks. We're going to pick them all. It doesn't matter which 4 they are. And, you know, Canada deciding to get rid of the speed pick means that Brazil has a steady plan. And, I mean, it's interesting to see that the strategy that came out, because, like, they went for Rain as their second pick, but they're leaving the Chord Stream pick for last, which is potentially, like, in that same boat of Rain, where these players are definitely capable of getting really, really good accuracy, and singular misses can mean the end for you. So we'll see how that ends up holding out for Brazil, but before they get there, they've got to get this point on Busy Come, Busy Go here, which the ending definitely a little bit challenging.
Oh yeah, this one being a technical map as well. One of the trickier maps in the whole pool, I would say.
I would tend to agree with you. I think the beginning, like the first like half of it is on the more straightforward side. There's like 1 or 2 bursts in the beginning that can be a little bit challenging, but the real difficulty is going to come from how consistent the players are at the second half. And we're already seeing something from Canada. A miss from Mr. Moo on one of those opening bursts. Not to mention the swing patterning here with that OD 7.8, not treating players super well on the accuracy side. Lothis obviously holding very well. I mean, I've said this multiple times. What do you expect from the guy?
Yeah, Lothis does things. Lothis does Lothis things when it comes to Rice accuracy here. Canada holding on some pretty good accuracy themselves, but that one early miss holding them back a little bit, and of course Brazil just overall having the accuracy lead is giving them even more of an advantage. But as you said, this is still the first half. You're going to have to see what happens towards the second half, because Canada are not too far behind in the accuracy.
Yeah, not too far behind. And that miss was really early on from Mr. Mu, which means any miss from Brazil here in this ending section will be more detrimental to the score than it was for Mr. Mu. They will lose out on the full 400 combo bonus, whereas Mr. Mu only lost about 80 combo to that. But that lead is still pretty heavy from Brazil. It looks like it might still take multiple misses from the side of Brazil to give that lead over to Canada. But we have the hardest material in the map still coming up in this last quarter here. But Brazil just eating through it.
Oh, another miss from Mr. Mood there, but how is Lothus 990? 990? Huh?
99.87. Okay. Both Brazilian players on pace for 990k. Absolutely ridiculous scores. Dale holding on to the full combo despite another miss from Mr. Mu, but will not be enough to hold on against a 1.987 million score from Brazil. We said before the match started that they were very good on Rice, and their qualifier scores on the Rice maps were good. But I don't know if that prepared anyone for how good they were doing.
What is this? How do you ratio this map? I don't even know.
B Lothus. That is the answer.
Yeah, well, Brazil looking very scary on the Rice. As usual, as we've seen so far throughout the match. There's going to be another comfortable point for them. But now is the interesting part, because both teams have been picking their comfortable maps. Both got 5 very convincing wins in a row here. But now Canada have the choice.
My bet is on Colors. I think Colors is coming in. Hybrid 3.
I want to see Colors.
I think Colors is coming out because it's the most LN accuracy focused hybrid of the remaining 3.
It definitely has.
Go.
Oh,
Your
yes.
boy is so good at guessing. Colors coming out from Canada looking for those staggers and those LN flams to give them the advantage here. Only about 30 to 40 seconds of difficulty, but that is going to define your run. So you got to feel a bit confident going into this to make sure that they can get that point back.
But yeah, you're going to be feeling so nervous on a map like this, no matter what, though. No matter how confident you are, just the fact that there's such a short amount of time where there are actually, like, patterns that are important. 30 seconds only. So a single miss is going to be so detrimental.
Yeah, and it looks like we might actually be seeing Silly Fangirl staying in for this map. So the Rice aspect and the combo aspect might be favoring Silly Fangirl over Makiba in this case, which is interesting to see, but it might end up working out for Brazil if they're able to get that break point on this pick from Canada.
It looks like Dale is actually staying in as well for Canada, so both of the Rice teams staying in for both of them here.
That's what it looks like, but it looks like Canada wants to take their timeout, which I believe they can. It is their pick. Wouldn't have any problems with that. Just give them the extra 2 minutes to calm their nerves and talk over a plan to make sure they have the right players in. Mr. Moo's looking like they're getting, they're either swapping out or trying to fix their keyboard issues.
That would be fair enough.
Our ref has said that it is not. Okay, hold on.
Mm-hmm. But it does look like Lelpop is switching in after Mr. Mu left. So we are going to be seeing a new player coming in here for Canada.
Oh, looks like the timeout's not happening here.
Yeah, so we are going to be seeing them go in here. No Mr. Mu here, who has been the stronger player for Canada for the LN map so far, but of course hybrids are a different story.
Yeah, interesting to see that. But you said Lelpop was pretty common in those long note picks for Canada, so it makes sense to see them coming in for a map like this.
Here we go. Long intro here for this map. And a little bit of an act advantage for Brazil. We're seeing some act drops. Lelpop actually going to be the first miss. And that's going to mean a whole lot if Brazil manage to hold on to these combos.
Indeed. 2 full combos on the side of Brazil is going to definitely help keep that lead. Also, the accuracies on Brazil. Lothus holding on to above a 99.8 right now, dropping a little bit there with some of those flams, but the combos definitely keeping them above in this game.
And that's going to be it. That's the end of all of the difficulty of this map. And with this lead, it's going to be Brazil taking a breakpoint. Oh, silly fangirl. Little bit of a silly miss at the end there, but fortunately that is not going to matter. There's just not enough notes in the map. So yeah, pretty much 2 full combos here for Brazil. And the accuracy lead is what really does that. And that's going to be the first breakpoint we're seeing of the match. Brazil up 4-2 and match point as well on Brazil's own pick. They still have 1 Rice map left.
Yeah, I mean, you can't expect anything other than that Rice map to come out. Prime Matrix, definitely the very clear pick coming out from Brazil, unless I'm crazy, which sometimes I am, and that Brazil does that to me all the time.
No, I don't think you're crazy on this one. I think there's such an obvious pick here for Brazil to go for that. Yeah, and it does come out. The last pick for Brazil. And Canada now are forced to win 2 maps in a row if they want to stay in this and force a tiebreaker out. So we are going to see Mr. Moo coming back in for Canada alongside Dale. It is time for Canada to do what they haven't managed to do so far in the match. They're going to have to win on one of these Rice picks, but as you did say before, this one is more of an accuracy-focused chord stream pick. So if Canada do have the ability, the physical ability, the comfort on this 150 BPM denser chord stream patterns, then they could have some chances here. Only 1 miss away from, theoretically being able to take this one.
Yeah, we see the Star Command coming out, but Accuracy Gaming coming alive. Brazil being very consistent on these Rice picks so far. We haven't seen, I don't think, any misses on the Rice picks from Brazil so far. I need to double check that, but yeah, it looks like we've had 6 full combos on the 3 Rice picks from the side of Brazil. Canada not being so lucky, finding a few unlucky misses throughout those picks. And the accuracies from Brazil just being so strong as well. Obviously, this was going to end up coming out from Brazil regardless of the situation, but definitely potentially on the easier side of the pool to keep combo up. And for a team like Canada, this is another very good opportunity to take a break point, and they're going to need it if they want to stay alive in this match.
Yeah, so far, we're seeing the 4 full combos come out. But it is Brazil holding the accuracy lead out of the gates, as has been the case with these Rice maps so far. Both Canadian players still holding 99.6s.
Accuracy favoring Brazil as it has been for all of the other Rice picks, though no misses coming out from any players yet, so the lead is not as clear as it has been for the previous Rice picks. both of the Canadian players behind in accuracy compared to both Lotus and Silly Fangirl, but close enough that 1 or 2 misses from Brazil will definitely help Canada stay within range to strike for this match.
It is definitely close enough to be competitive here, but they are going to have to rely on either a very significant accuracy drop or a miss from Brazil.
Getting into the last quarter, things get a little bit denser here, but also two-handed, so the patterns get a little bit on the easier side for many players to keep that accuracy up, but it looks like Brazil is still holding on to that advantage. Not by a whole lot. The accuracy is building up from both Mr. Moo and Dale940, while the consistency just staying in the side of Brazil. No misses coming out of that section, though, as we get into the final section. A miss is going to have to happen if Canada wants to come back alive for this match.
Oh, they're staying in it so close, but there's just no mistakes. Brazil just refused to make any mistakes whatsoever on the rice. And that is going to be 1 more point, 5-2. Brazil finishes the match off, and that's 89-300.
That is 89-300s. Ridiculous scores from the Brazilian players here on all of the rice picks. No misses coming from Brazil on rice, and just managing to grab that break point on hybrid 3 from Canada, taking the win in the match. Of course, Canada not knocked out of the tournament yet. We will still continue to see these players, but they will be knocked into the losers bracket to face, actually Canada, I believe, facing the number 16 seeded team, which I need to remember what team
Vietnam.
that is. Yes, Vietnam, and Brazil going on in the winners bracket to face South Korea.
Fun. But yeah, I mean, Brazil versus South Korea might actually be pretty interesting with the accuracies like we've just seen. If they're still able to pull that off with the next pool, definitely a match to watch out for. But as you said, Canada still have 1 more shot. They are going to be facing Vietnam in the losers bracket, so still having a good chance of going very deep into the tournament, especially with scores like they were getting just then.
Yeah, absolutely. But that is actually going to be the last match of this block. Next match, I believe, happening in about 9.5 hours from now. But with the ending of this block, we don't really have too much to say. We want to make sure that everyone comes back, but we also want to make sure that everyone knows I got to shill. I'm a shilling master. I got to do it every time I'm up here. And so I got to remind everyone that there is an open collective for the World Cups, for 7th Mania World Cup going on right now, obviously. You can donate as much money as you want to help support the players in the tournament, to make sure that these lovely players get their prizes and, just help support us in what we are doing. Banners are not quite out yet, so I will not announce those, but we will make sure to let everyone know once the banners are ready to go. But regardless of that, have anything else to say before we sign off until 9 UTC for Indonesia versus Japan?
Yeah, quite a long time until that, but if you are awake during 9 UTC, I would definitely recommend checking out that match. Indonesia versus Japan is going to be definitely another exciting one, and I mean that seriously. So make sure you tune in at 9 UTC in 9 hours for that one. But until then, we'll be taking a break, so we'll see you next time.